Okay, this then is a look at the user interface of the Honor View 20 smartphone. Now, first thing I want to tell you is I've installed all my own apps and I've been using this for well over a week now as my own phone. So I know that it's a very fast, very agile handset, and it's beautiful to look at as well, inside and out. Now, this phone has a live backdrop wallpaper. So if I go into Twitter and I just search through my tweets and then go back, look, that wallpaper moves and it's very nice to look at, and you can change this within the Themes app. Now, this is one of the Huawei/Honor applications that comes on the phone, and you can switch the way that your phone looks. You can change it around. Obviously, some of these themes cost money, some don't, and you can change the text style, you can change the wallpaper background, you can choose from a wide selection. You can obviously add your own pictures and your own backdrop if you wish. Back to home, and we've got the phone manager, which helps keep your phone in trim. So we can see the data usage, and we can do things like, say, if you've got a fairly small data plan, say you've got 1 GB or 2 GB, we can go into the smart data saver, and we can reduce data usage by preventing apps from basically talking to the internet, and it trying to reduces, it delays the amount of traffic coming out. It delays the receipt of messages and emails, as you can see there. So that's one option. However, you've also got network access option, and what you might do if you've got a very low plan allowance, network allowance, data allowance, you can turn all mobile data off and only allow it for essential apps. So maybe you only want to allow WhatsApp in, and you only want to allow Twitter, let's say, or Facebook, and then it will never let the other apps use mobile data. They will only contact the internet and the servers and do updates when you've got Wi-Fi. So that will dramatically help improve the amount of data that you have allowed in remaining in your plan. I'm going to turn all that back on though, because I've got a slightly larger data package. We can go into here, we can have a look at the monthly data limit, we can set that. We can also go into this blocked system, which is kind of good. You can block unknown callers from calling you, spam calls. So we can go into message block rules, we can turn on block strangers, we can block unknown numbers, and then with these settings, I believe, if I've read it correctly, it will only allow calls through if they're on your contacts list. So we can have that set. That's a good idea. We've got the battery life here, and you can turn on performance mode and tweak other bits. Really, it is not necessary on the Honor View 20. I have had this phone on since 5 o'clock this morning. As you can see by the time on the top right, it is just midnight, and I've still got 14 hours of usage. I could use this all day tomorrow. It would be fine. I've really hammered it today. GPS, I've used hotspot. I've got hotspot turned on now, and it really, it's got a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and it really does last for quite some time. You've got a virus scanner, and you've got drop zone, and you've got a cleanup facility. It gets rid of all your big temporary files and junk that you may have forgotten about. Really good little app there. You've got music, so you can listen to music here. You can have a look at all the tunes that you've got on your phone. You've got a video application there. You can have a look at the Huawei video. As you can see here, that is a Huawei application. And indeed, if you go into settings and you go into here, you've got a Huawei account, and you can back stuff up to the Huawei cloud. You can back up your images and your calendars and your contacts to the Huawei drive. It is, for all intents and purposes, a Huawei GUI. However, if we go into, I think it's settings and then down to system, it's called Magic UI. However, it's actually the EMUI interface that Huawei do with a slightly different logo. They've just slightly rebranded it, but the Huawei sort of technology really screams out of this phone. It is everywhere. What else do we have? We've got the gallery, obviously. We've got hints and tips here. If you get stuck, it tells you how to do things on the phone. Really cool. We've got an app gallery, which is a lot like the Google Play Gallery. It recommends certain applications. I personally would stick to Google Play if I'm honest. And we've got the High Care system, which if you've got any problems with the phone, you can load this up and you can arrange for diagnostics, updates, maintenance to be done. I'm in France at the minute as I'm recording this, so it's asking me to switch language. But again, you can see that it is a Huawei branded bit of software, and it really does show through. So basically, it's a Huawei phone. You've got Huawei Health, which lets you know how many steps you've done today, and you can keep track of how many steps you've done, and it synchronizes with Huawei or on a band, and you can tell just how fit you are. What else do we have in here? Let's have a look. Calendar, files system. Booking.com seems to be everywhere on phones I'm looking at the minute. We've got the party mode, which lets you connect in with other handsets, and you can blast tunes out, synchronize music across several different phones, which is really quite good. You can use each phone as a speaker and play out the same tune over several phones. We've got a batch of tools in here, the usual stuff, and we've got the camera functionality, which I will try and show you on here, but it can be a bit tricky with the screen recording. Other than that, it's a very fast, very slick interface. Obviously, you can change the way it looks. We've got this sort of search system here. I'm going to go into camera now. Haha, you can see my leg. Now, we can go into more. We've got a huge amount of options. You can turn on HDR, slow-mo. We've got the Pro mode, so you can save into RAW format. You've also got the AR lens, and here, let me just see if I can find it. If I go into photo and I go up here, you've got this photo mode here. So I've taken it, looking at a bottle here, but it will identify objects. Now this is a pre-release version of the phone, so I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to identify this properly, and indeed it hasn't. But let's just try that again. Is it going to identify it? Okay, that's not seems to be working, but we've got translate system as well. Again, this translates language to other languages, and it should do, but again, I've got a pre-release phone and it doesn't seem to be doing. Oh, there you go. See, now if that's detected English. Now here's the French on the back, so I'm going to take a picture of this French, and it should do a live, and you can actually press pause on here and pause the image if you wish, and it should do a live sort of translation of the text on the thing here. So you've got comment l'utilisateur, I can't even say that. See, look, hotel room directory. See how it's picked that up? I can turn the light on and that will help things out, hopefully. And there you go, it's done a live translation of the text on the paper. That's pretty cool. So there you go, you can see how to use a remote control. Although this leaflet here actually shows it in English and French, but it's useful if you're somewhere where it's in a language you don't understand. You can use this live translation system. What else do we have? A QR code system. We've got the shopping, and we've got this identifier. Let's try the identifier again. I'm determined to get this working. Is it going to identify this as a bottle? No. Is it going to identify this remote control? Nope. Wow, that's television maybe. No, sadly, because I'm using a pre-release phone, some bits don't work, but we've got an AR lens, so let me just see if we can fire that up, and I can use this, and I can talk, and I look straight in the camera, and I can be a little penguin. Hello, everybody. And it's getting my eyes and everything. That's pretty cool. So that's a look at the camera. In the settings option, we've got a huge amount of things. We've got eye comfort here. We can change the color and temperature of the screen. We can go into more settings. We can adjust the notch. You see here, you've got the notch there. Well, it's not really a notch. It's a blinking pinhole camera, but you can hide it if you wish, or not hide it. It's totally up to you. We've got other options here. I think full screen display, we can set whether that's been turned on in certain apps or not, because obviously it's the orientation of the screen itself. We've got something which I really enjoyed on here. Let me see if I can find it, because digital balance, which is really good. You can set limits on phone usage and app usage, which is really good. I've mentioned this in the review, and it's great to see it on phones. You can see how much each app has been used, how many unlocks have occurred, how much the screen's been used, and you can restrict that. It'd be good if we could have it remote management like on an iPhone. As with every Android phone, you can adjust everything on here, all the sounds. We've got the dual SIM settings here. There's 2 SIMs in here, no micro SD. You can put 2 SIMs in there, and you can have 4G on both of them. You can do tethering, you can do the usual stuff, you can VPN, and that really is a quick look at the interface of this, the Honor View20. Very highly recommended from us here at Coolsmartphone. Very fast, very cool, loads of memory, great camera, and overall very cool phone.